A long hallway, huh? Let's check it out.
Junpei and the other three proceeded down it silently. Some distance along it, a large room opened up on the left-hand side. It looked familiar. An iron grate covered each of the elevators. Junpei and his companions drew to a stop and began to discuss what their next move should be.
We've seen this elevator before.
We got off the one on the left just a little while ago.
Then we went through the number 6 door, and that took us to the engine room.
Yes, and after that we passed through the cargo room.
And now we're back here.
Yes.
In other words, we made a loop. We're back where we started.
Junpei approached the elevator.
We needed a card to get to this point.
I don't see a card reader here.
Perhaps we aren't able to activate it from this location.
Why don't you just try pushing the button?
Yeah.
Gently, he pushed the triangular button on the wall. A moment passed. Oh, hey, it worked.
It works.
Alright, let's go. Where are we going anyway? The elevator door opened and then eventually shut again.
I think so.
Pushing the button had apparently restored power to the elevator.
Good. Now we can go back if we need to.
What do we do? Should we return to C deck?
No,
Might
this
as well.
hallway keeps going.
Wait,
Even
it
if
does?
we do end up going back, I think we should see what's down there first.
I agree. Let's go.
Their decision made, Junpei and his companions left the elevators behind and continued down the hallway. Sometime later,
Looks like it ends here.
Santa, who had been walking several paces in front of the rest, suddenly stopped.
Only one door.
They searched around just in case.
There isn't anything else. It's the only way to go.
It was the door or nothing.
All right, let's open it.
Junpei took a deep breath, readied himself, and then grabbed a doorknob and pulled the door open. What's inside? He paused for a moment, then stepped through, into the room. And there he saw the number that hung over their heads since they'd woken up. Did I find the 9 door? Oh my god. Of course it's in the chapel.
The 9 door.
Like the numbers on every other door, this one too was a rough shape made out of red paint. Its door was set into the back wall of the room. Junpei leapt toward it with a sudden burst of hopeful energy. It was a large double door, heavy and full of solemn importance. He grabbed the door handle and shook.
Of course it wouldn't be that easy.
The red sat on the wall next to the door. Displayed on it.
Vacant. Huh. We finally found it.
Junpei felt himself overwhelmed by a torrent of emotion. At last they'd found the exit, but cold gripped his heart and he knew all too well why. Not everyone can get out. As he stood frozen, unsure of what to think or feel.
Jumpy!
Huh?
Look! Behind you!
What? He spun around and couldn't believe what he saw.
What? A 9 door. There's another one.
What?
Why?
Junpei's voice was barely audible even to himself. He stumbled toward the second door as if somehow compelled. It was a small single door. It sat in the starboard corner of the room on the same wall as the door they'd entered from, but in the opposite corner.
It's 9, no matter how you look at it. The red is there too. So this is a real one?
Junpei shook the door handle pointlessly and muttered to himself.
Why? Why the hell are there 2 doors?
It was Santa who answered.
There were always 2 doors.
What?
I mean, if you think about it, Zero never actually said there was only one door with a 9 on it.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Yeah, seek a door. Doesn't necessarily said there's seek the door.
Of course, we just assumed that there was only one. After all, why would there be more than one?
Oh, man. We fell for it. There are 2 doors. That means that all 9 people who had met at the central staircase could escape. No one would be left behind. Now it makes sense why the bracelets are numbers. 1 through 9.
Yeah.
Divided into teams of 4 and 5 people. The digital root of both teams ends up being 9.
Yeah, that's true.
Take 1278 and 34569 for example. The digital root for both teams would be 9. Or 2349 and 15678. The digital root is still 9. There are a bunch of combinations that work and they all end up the same way. If one team has the digital root of 9, so would the other one. What does that mean?
It means that as you are right now, with 2 people dead, that is no longer a possibility. You may only go through one 9 door, and the others are left behind.
The answer's simple. From the very beginning, the Nonary game was designed to save all 9 people. That's how it was meant to be.
Yeah. It was designed for everyone to survive.
Zero didn't lie. He never said there'd be only one 9 door. But anyone who'd found themselves in the game would have assumed that was the case. Fights would have broken out. One team would likely betray or deceive the other. Someone might be hurt. Someone might get killed. But eventually, they'd reach this very same room and realize how pointless all their infighting was.
Correct.
There were 2 doors. There was no need to kill each other.
Why does it sound like I'm talking... Like, it sounds like I'm talking from a perspective as if I had killed people. They'd understand and be appalled, overwhelmed with guilt at what they'd done.
This game was designed for that purpose.
There was no need.
This Nonary game. We were all arguing and fighting over doors at the beginning. But if there had been one slip-up, one tiny mistake that led to more, everything could have been so much worse now.
The thought of it sent a chill down his spine.
So, what are we going to do, Junpei?
Have I reached the end? The voice broke through the Junpei's frantic thoughts. Santa's voice.
Oh, right.
Hey, keep it together, man.
Sorry.
Jeez. So what do we do?
What do you...
We need to think about our next step.
Our numbers are 1, 3, 5, and 6. That's a digital root of 6.
The 4 of us can't open the number 9 door.
The 4? Wait. Don't tell me.
Yep. There's one combination that'll let 3 of us open the 9 door.
What's the combination?
That's why I'm asking, what now?
What now?
It took him no time at all to determine the answer. There was only one combination of 3 people that would give a digital root of 9. 1, 3, and 5. Oh, God, no! Fuck! That would mean...
No, we gotta go back.
That wasn't a possibility he was willing to consider. Santa and Ace agreed.
Yep.
I agree. We cannot leave June behind.
Y'all are cool. You know exactly what's up, and I'm appreciative of that. I was thinking of the people we had right now, but I don't know what that counts for if we have everyone together. Junpei let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding.
Are you sure? I don't mind staying.
June? Shush. June's body betrayed her true feelings. Her eyes were wet with the beginnings of tears, and her legs shook.
It's okay. There's no way we'd leave you behind.
No, of course not. You are... I don't know the word to describe you. You're just good. Santa had said what Junpei had known the moment he realized which 3 people could go through the door.
Besides, I'd rather drown at the bottom of the ocean than escape with this sausage fest.
There's that.
Maybe I'll get to go to Atlanta.
What? What?
Are you sure you don't mean Atlantis?
What? What the Junpei?
Oh, right.
Perhaps it was the sudden... Perhaps it was the sudden reassurance that no one wanted to leave June behind. But Junpei laughed harder than he had in some time. I'm laughing because I don't know why the hell. He all of a sudden whispered, maybe I'll get to go to Atlantis. Santa and Ace smiled.
You guys.
June blinked tears from her eyes and bit her lip. She didn't seem to know what else to say.
Very well. Best we head back to C-Deck then. We should be able to take the elevator we passed earlier. Perhaps Clover, Seven, and Lotus will have returned from door 1.
So we have 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Even as Ace spoke, they knew finding the others wouldn't improve the situation.
But even with all 7 of us,
Ace knew it. They all knew it.
Standing around here isn't going to accomplish anything, don't you agree? Let's find the other 3 first, and then search for another solution.
I guess you're right.
All right, let's go.
Ace looked at all 3 of them, then turned and headed through the door.
Okay.
All right. Santa and June followed.
Huh.
Junpei started toward the door, then stopped.
Come to think of it, what is this room?
It didn't seem terribly important now, but what exactly was it?
We were so focused on the doors, we didn't even look around.
A red carpet ran between 2 columns of wooden benches that ran the length of the room. This is a chapel, no matter what you want to look at it.
Huh. It looks like it's set up for some kind of ceremony. But what kind?
Facing the 9 door was a carpet leading to the bow of the ship. And at the end, was it an altar perhaps? There was a small rectangular alcove above the carpet, and inside the alcove was a raised platform. Resting on top of the platform was a coffin.
A coffin? What on earth is a coffin doing in a place like this?
Before Junpei had time to answer that question,
Hey, Junpei, the hell are you doing? Let's move.
Santa's voice echoed from the hall outside.
Right, okay. I'll be right there.
Junpei turned on his heel and left the quiet, somber room. Okay, hold on one second. I need to say this because the symbol looked familiar. And this might be a big spoiler. Because I already knew about, because I played Zero Time Dilemma. But is this Free the Soul? Is Free the Soul like putting this most important room in the chapel with the coffin of someone important to their cause? Is that that's what's going on? That's all I can assume. Hello? What? What? There's definitely someone in that coffin. I got chills up my spine now. Who's in there? They took the elevator up to C deck. Once there, they headed back toward the main hall and the central staircase. It didn't take them long.
Look, it's...
Seven and Lotus.
Where's Clover? They didn't look happy.
We've got a problem.
Where's Clover?
Clover is gone.
What?
Junpei and his 3 companions looked at one another. He turned back to Seven and Lotus.
What do you mean, gone?
Santa, Ace, and June had their own questions to ask.
When?
Why?
You 2 went into door 1 with Clover, didn't you?
Seven and Lotus responded as best they could.
Yeah, we went through the door together.
But Clover barely spoke to us.
She just did her own thing the whole time.
Huh.
There were 4 rooms on the other side of door 1.
She wouldn't let us into the 4th room.
She just said, I'll take care of this one.
And shut the door.
She must have blocked it with something on the other side.
We waited for a while, but Clover didn't come out.
We called for her, but she didn't answer.
So I kicked down the door and we went into the room.
Okay.
But
It was empty.
Clover wasn't there.
God damn it, Clover. This isn't the time for this.
There was a door on the other wall.
And it was open.
We figure she opened the door and left by herself.
We ran after her, of course, but
Well, obviously we didn't find her. We figured that much out.
Clover's gone.
And we need to find her. We have important business to take care of. Junpei thought for a moment.
When did this happen?
We got here just before you.
You certainly have excellent timing.
So you haven't searched anywhere other than near the staircase?
No, we haven't.
Finally, Ace spoke. His voice had an edge of resolve and concern.
Very well then. We'd best separate and look for Clover. We haven't much time left. Let's begin.
Yeah.
There were quick nods all around, and the 6 remaining players spread out. Junpei and June ran to the central hospital room and looked
She's
around.
not here.
No, she isn't.
They searched a little longer, but with no luck. They couldn't find Clover.
There's no sign of her. Let's go.
Finally, they gave up and left the central hospital room. Slowly, they made their way back to the hallway. At last, they reached the stairs and Junpei spoke.
All right. I'm thinking we should probably split up. I'll head back to the stairs and take the elevator down to E deck. June, you can take the stairs up to B deck.
All right, that sounds good. But,
What?
could you stop calling me by that code name when we're alone?
Bah, you want me to call you by your first name?
Huh? Sure, right. I'll do that.
I haven't heard her name in so long. There was a reason Junpei persisted in calling her June even when they were alone. Although, perhaps not the best reason. He was embarrassed to call her by the nickname he'd used when they were children. What's the nickname? Canny? Oh my god. 9... Wait a goddamn minute. 9. Of course it's 9. 9 years ago it came naturally. After all, they were children. But now that they were adults, it felt strange. Sorry. It's kind of busy here at the moment, so I'm just kind of... Anyway. Regardless of what he might hope for, to call a woman he wasn't dating by such a childish nickname felt odd to him. Of course, to call her Miss Kurashiki would be even more awkward, and simply Kurashiki would seem a little brusque. And although he couldn't put his finger on why, it felt somewhat forward to call her Akane, when they hadn't seen each other in so long. In short, it was simply easier for her to call her June, and so leave it at that.
Jumpy.
No, it's nothing.
All right, I'm going then.
Yeah, be careful, Kane.
Oh, Kane. June, or perhaps more appropriately Kane, blushed and
You
smiled.
be careful too, Jumpy.
Yeah, got it. Take care.
Junpei looked after her for a moment as she ran up the stairs, then turned around and took off for the hallway. And now Junpei's alone. Okay, we're running, okay. Going down an elevator? I mean, it's not that weird. Oh, never mind. Tragedy always strikes when one least expects it. But to wait for a man to stand before striking him down, seems almost crueler than dealing the fatal blow while he lies on the ground. A light in a dark place, June's smile had given him hope, both for escape and possibly for something else. It was that hope that raised his spirits just enough that they might soon be fully dashed. He opened the elevator door, and there she was. A woman sat, slouched against the wall. This is some horror movie shit now. Lotus. Junpei felt his blood turn to ice. Her body was limp, and her skin, smooth and pale as always. Oh my god. Was covered in bright red blood. Junpei felt his chest constrict. He couldn't breathe, and his legs began to shake. A slow, cold drop of sweat trickled down his back. He felt his stomach somersault. Junpei's mind went blank. All his thoughts replaced with endless, hissing white. Driven by little more than instinct, he began to walk toward Lotus slowly. Each slow movement of his stiff limbs brought him closer to her corpse. Finally, he stood next to her. Robotically, he bent down and put his hand against her neck. There was no pulse. No rise and fall of breathing. She was slightly warm. So this was recent, like recent. Something, somewhere, in Junpei's shaken mind told him that meant she'd been killed recently. Yes, Junpei thought, his mind slowly returning. She had been killed. Someone had killed her. There was a deep cut on the left side of her chest. Blood still oozed from it, although clearly her heart had stopped beating long ago. The weapon had been a knife then? Perhaps she'd been stabbed in the heart once. She would have died immediately. He took little comfort from knowing she must have suffered very little. Only then did Junpei notice. Lotus's bracelet was gone.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so.
Someone killed her and took her bracelet.
1. You escape from this ship. 2. More heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confine of the ship, or the backside of the wearer's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically.
Was that why the killer had ended Lotus's life? So that they might have the number 8 bracelet? If that was true, then the killer was whoever wanted the number 8 bracelet. Or perhaps more accurately, the person who would gain the most by obtaining the Ace? Motherfucking Ace? Who is that? Who would benefit the most from the number 8 bracelet? 1 plus 8 is 9. The thought only just entered Junpei's mind when he heard a noise. A sound like a sharp knife cutting through wet meat. It struck him as strange that the noise came from inside his own body. A moment later, the pain hit him. It wasn't merely pain. There was heat, extreme heat as well. He felt as though molten iron had been splashed against the side of his body. Finally, his brain made the connection. He had been stabbed. But where? His body was quickly going numb. He couldn't tell where the knife had met his flesh. Given the circumstances, however, he had most likely been stabbed in the back. Whoever had killed Lotus had now done the same to Junpei as well. His voice was little more than a weak groan. With what little strength he had left, Junpei turned his body, trying to catch a glimpse of his attacker. But as he did, the knife dug itself deeper, twisting viciously. He collapsed to the floor, a puppet with its strings cut. His arms and legs fell where they were, oddly twisted and awkwardly positioned. Junpei's body was entirely numb. He could feel the blood leaking out of him, but nothing would move. Nothing, save his eyes. As he lay on the floor, his life ebbing away, Junpei finally saw his attacker. 2 tiny images of the killer reflected in his eyes. With that recognition came nothing. He felt no emotions. Not anger, not sadness, not regret. The paralysis that claimed his body had reached his mind. His killer glanced down at his body. Then, without saying a word, climbed into the elevator and was gone. His eyesight began to fade. The world grew blurry and began to dissolve into an empty white fog. The fog crept into his edges of his mind and worked inexorably inward. Soon, it swallowed up the last that remained of Junpei's mind, and his consciousness left him. There was nothing more. Into utter emptiness he fell. Into zero. Whatever Junpei had been was gone. Fuck! How did it end like this? What the fuck? You've reached one ending. This game has multiple endings. In order to experience all the endings, you need to play through the game multiple times. Make sure to save your progress now to retain all information you've acquired. Memory of Escape has been added to the title screen. Memory of Escape allows you to replay the escape rooms you have completed. Would you like to save the info? Yeah. Save complete. Access the flowchart or return to the title screen to start from the beginning. Wait a minute. Hold on. I missed some keys. Or wait, no, I think they're locked. Oh God, okay, well, fuck.